Hello, playmates. How's everybody doing tonight? Did you guys miss me? I really missed you. I've been gone for a minute. So glad to be back. So glad to see everybody here in the chat. Look, we got a nice crowd tonight. Again, as always, love to see my peoples. All my playmates. You guys make it so much fun in here. I really appreciate it. We got Atlas in the house tonight. He's hanging out with me. He's being very overprotective. And here I am. Hello. Good to see everybody. So yeah, I've been through the ringer. I've been going through some serious suffering here for the last 2 weeks now, and I thought we would talk about that tonight. Suffering seems to be part of the trip, right? Like, when is the suffering going to end? Is there any end to the suffering? Is the suffering worth it? I don't know, but we're going to talk about it tonight. Hang tight. So good to see everybody tonight. I love this crowd. You guys are my favorite part of the week, is coming on here and talking with everybody. So yeah, been going through I've been going through hell this week. Last 2 weeks. For those of you who don't know, I just had surgery. I'm recovering from surgery right now, and I'm recovering from a double mastectomy. And you're like, wow, you're a dude. Why are you recovering from a double mastectomy? It's because I'm transgender, and I have decided to detransition. And it wasn't something I decided overnight. It's something I've been thinking about for many, many years now, and finally had the guts to do it. I've told my story on here a number of times, but I've been trans my whole life, ever since I was, every earliest memory I have is of being trans. Incidentally, for those who don't know, I was born a male and transitioned to trans woman when I was in my early 20s, and lived that way for about 6 years, and I transitioned back to male and got married and lived that way for 12 years. And I transitioned back again because I couldn't take it, back to female, trans woman again. Did that for 10 years. And now I've transitioned back. And you guys are like, holy crap, you must be insane. And I'm sitting here listening, taking advice from you. Yes, that's how crazy you are. No, but seriously. Yeah, so everyone suffers. Everyone's got that thing, no matter how glamorous you think life is for me. And you see all the records and you see that I have a successful life and friends and all that stuff. I do. I have a wonderful, amazing life. But I have also had this hang-up that's ruled my life for almost my entire life. I should say my entire life. And it's been difficult. It's a really difficult trip, and my heart goes out to all of my trans brothers and sisters out there. This is not a suggestion of what you should do or how you should approach your thing. I'm not saying yay or nay to transgenderism. I don't see it as identity. I didn't see it as identity when I transitioned the last time. It's something in the mind that had to be worked out. And the reason I transitioned the second time was because even though I was well aware of there being no identity, it was still ruling my life in a very profound way. So I knew that being trans was an instrumental part of the shadow that I talk about so often on this show. And I knew that the only way that this was going to heal or get any better was I had to face it head on, and I had to dive into my shadow and just take it on and just see what in the world this thing is that I'm supposed to see, and why is it ruling my life the way that it rules it. And that was that was the hardest decision I think I've ever made in my entire life, because 10 years ago when I made that decision to do it again, I had a very, very beautiful life. I was married to a wonderful woman. I had a beautiful house. I had all the toys. I had a dream. I was literally living the dream life, and I knew that by transitioning back, I was going to lose it all, and I did. I lost all of it. It was a very, very, very painful lesson. And in the last 3 to 5 years, I guess, I've just been considering transitioning back. I feel like I have gotten all of the lessons that I needed to get out of this. I got out of it, and it just didn't work for me. I think I'm not attracted to men, so that makes it very difficult. Makes it extra difficult, and then the type of people being transgender attracts are typically not my cup of tea. No offense, I love you. It's just not my cup of tea. You're not vibrating where I'm vibrating. And I searched high and low to find people that I can gel with, and I just wasn't able to do that. I do have a lot of friends. I've got wonderful friends. The best friends I've ever had in my life I have right now, and I am so grateful every single day to have them in my life. And they've been 100% supportive through all of this. And I just want to shout out and say I love you very much. For those of you I know you're watching, and thank you for supporting me through all this madness. But yeah, here I am. And what I've decided to how to approach this is, everyone is so caught in this binary idea of life. Oh, you're either a man or a woman. Oh, you're transitioning back. Oh, you're transitioning. I'm just finding my balance. That's what I'm doing. I'm finding my balance. And part of me finding my balance includes not taking female hormones. And the thing is that the breasts, I had grown double D breasts. They weren't implants. I had literally grown them. Call it genetics, call it whatever you want. And so it was finding the center, because no matter how much I butched it up, no matter how I still look like a grandma, with the big giant boobs. So that just wasn't working for me. So I made the decision to do this, and let me tell you, it was a very scary decision. Not because I'm afraid of pain or anything like that, but I just was worried that I was making the right decision. And the minute I woke up, the minute I was conscious, I knew I made the right decision, and I was very, very elated about the decision. So all that to say, yes, it's been a rough couple of weeks, but I'm very, very pleased to have gone through all of that, and to have it behind me now. So I'm thrilled about that. I still have a bunch of blood tubes coming out of my chest. You can't see them. I've got them hidden underneath this t-shirt, but so I probably won't go very long tonight. It's gonna be a short one, but yeah, so thank you for all the loving support. I've read all of your comments and all the kisses and hearts, and thank you so, so much for all of that support. You guys are amazing. I love you guys so, so much for your support and all this too. So what I wanted to talk about is that the suffering is just part of life. That's just what it is. It's there's a give and take. For all of the wonderful qualities that life brings, there is also suffering. I got this comment, and I got a comment from a woman recently, and she was clearly very, very upset, and I would say even manic, the way that she was typing. And she left a message on every single one of my videos, calling me a fraud, calling me all this stuff, and just saying that how dare I preach these things because I'm rich, is what she kept going on, that I'm rich. First of all, I make a decent living, but I am not rich by any stretch of the imagination. I'm rich at heart, I'm rich at mind, I'm rich in spirit, and that's more than enough. That's more than enough. And my bank account reflects my spirit, But I also know what it's like to be on food stamps. I also know what it's like to suffer terribly. I also know what it's like to live out of my car. It's not like I don't know these things. And anyway, I don't usually let comments get to me. I just deleted them. I felt bad. Part of me wanted to reach out and try to console her, but I could tell that she was beyond being consoled. And but it did hurt. It did hurt, and I felt bad about that. So I don't want to give the wrong impression with people. I work too. I love my work. I'm an artist. I get up every day and I go to work just like everybody else. The difference is I make music, and it's work. I get done at the end of the day and I'm tired, just like you are tired. But there's a satisfaction because I'm doing what I love to do. So we all suffer. That's what I want to get across to everybody tonight. Everybody's suffering. There's not one of us here that's not suffering. One of my best friends is a billionaire, and I can tell you there's suffering there. Money isn't always the answer. And I can go through the whole laundry list of ways that he suffers. That things that you don't consider because you're not in his position. Not being able to trust people, not knowing who really loves you and who doesn't love you, not really knowing what to do with your life because you've already done everything, you've already seen everything, you already have everything, right? There's nothing to bandage those wounds of incompleteness, And I'm not making excuses for his life. I'm just trying to convey that we're all hurting. All of us are hurting, and I could say the same for all of my friends. My best friend in the world has got the most successful life you can imagine. You look at him and he's super good looking, super amazingly talented, has it all together. But he will even admit to me he doesn't know when to quit sometimes. He's very gassed up. He's very, very go, 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 go. And it's only been in the last couple of years that he's been able to just like take a chill and just be like, relax. It's okay. It's okay. And there was tremendous suffering there for him, and my heart really goes out to him for that too. There's a woman in my life who I care very much for, who also on the outside looks like you would think she has everything. She's beautiful. She has lots of money. She's extremely talented. She's got lots of friends. She's got a great sense of humor. But being close to her, I know that she suffers with OCD. And it's a very terrible experience for her. It's so bad. A lot of times she has to numb herself with alcohol. And so I want you to kind of realize that. And this is where you find compassion for people. No matter how it looks on the outside, no matter how well someone's holding it together to give the appearance of my life is perfect, especially online. We are all suffering. All of us. We're all suffering the same in our own unique way. And you say, Ford, that's ridiculous. There's people over in Africa and they're starving and whatever. It's all relative. It's all relative. We all suffer and hurt the same. And our life is also glorious in the same way, in different ways, but it's also glorious. I can't remember the name of the town, but there's a town in South India where they did a survey of the happiest people on the planet. And this is one of the poorest towns in the world. But on every test they could measure, they were the happiest of anybody that they tested on the planet. There's a whole movie about that. I can't remember the name of it, but it's... anyway, I'll think of it. But it's the guy who directed Ace Ventura. He made a movie, a documentary about it. It was really fascinating. So the suffering is there. I guarantee you every single person in my chat room is suffering in some kind of way. Some of you, I know your story, and my heart goes out to you. And I'm so proud of you for overcoming your hardships. A lot of you've gone through hell and back, and I think that's beautiful that you've landed on the right side with a pure heart and just radiating love. And I can feel it even in the chat. So yeah, what do we do with that? What do we do with that? That's tough, huh? Does it get better? We learn how to manage it better. We learn how to manage our suffering better. As we get older, we realize that suffering is just part of it. And we will learn how to treat ourselves too. Life doesn't have to be all suffering. And when you're suffering, don't be afraid to say, I'm suffering. I need a hug. Don't be afraid to say, I need to go and spoil myself because life is hard sometimes. There's nothing wrong with that, and you deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve to love life. It doesn't all have to be hell. The one thing that you don't want to do is turn yourself into a victim. That is the absolute worst thing that you can do. Because then you've identified with the suffering, right? That's when it gets really painful. And that's when you create the spiral that you can't get out of. There's no victimhood. Because all of the suffering that we carry, all that suffering that we carry, if we're going to really be true to non-duality and Zen, it's just these programs that we're running to build the character of who we are now. Because in the world of Zen, there is no time and space. It's all happening now. So I can sit here and tell you, as my chest is throbbing in terrible pain, that none of it's real. That none of it's real. It's all part of what I needed to experience to build the character that I am now. And I'm very proud of the person I've become. And I look forward to continuing to grow and expand and continuing to see just how much love I can radiate and how much love I can spread to others. And I hope that you will discover the same thing in your life. I really do. It's so important. It's not all suffering. It's not all suffering. Find ways to make it better for yourself. Find ways to give yourself a hug. Find ways to talk with people about your suffering. You know, everyone's trying to front, you know, especially now with the internet. And I think that's why the younger generations are having such a really hard time. They don't, if we're older, you know, I know that my audience is a little bit older. You know, we grew up in a time where we talked about our feelings and we had friends and we talk about things. But I think that the younger generations aren't getting that. They're only getting the front. They're only getting this is me on a jet. This is me in the Grand Canyon. This is me in this skiing in Switzerland. You know, that's all they get, and they don't get any of the bullshit that isn't posted on social media. I'm sorry, the volume is too low. I've got it up all the way. Sorry about that. Turn it up a little bit, I guess. So yeah, that's my rant on suffering. I wish I had a better answer for everybody. Like you just flip this magic switch and there's no more suffering. But you can transmute the suffering. You can learn from it, and you can just transmute it into love. You know, you would be surprised how quickly being loving will pull you out of these dark depths. You know, you could pull yourself right out of it by just spreading some love and acknowledging with compassion that everyone you meet is suffering too. That everyone you meet is suffering. Try to hold that state of mind next time you go to the grocery store or the mall or wherever it is you go. And walk around and realize that every single person you're walking past, in spite of whatever car they have in the parking lot, they're suffering. Badly. Badly. And it goes in waves, you know. You're suffering, and then you're not really suffering, and then you're suffering, and then it's not so bad. And now things are going really, really great, and then it goes back to suffering again. This is the nature of vibration. This is what it is. There can be no high without a low. And that's what Zen is all about. Zen is teaching you how to just make those vibrations as low and minimal as possible, right? Just as much as that. Instead of this, feeling it and diving into it and identifying with it, you make that vibration like this. And that's Zen. That's what Zen is. That's what Zen is all about. When you're suffering badly, just say to yourself, okay, I'm suffering right now. How can I minimize that? How can I treat myself a little bit? Maybe I'll go for ice cream. Maybe I'll play hooky from work and take a walk in the park. It's totally fine. You deserve it. You deserve it. You're worthy of that. And when it's going really good for you, try to extend some compassion to people that you see that are suffering. Give a little bit of that extra love away. See if you can make someone's life better, even if it's just a smile by telling a little joke. You know, I often talk about making a game out of it, you know, wherever you go, and if you find someone who's having a really crappy day, just to see what it would take in your 2-minute encounter with this person, whether it be a waitress or a cashier or a salesman or whatever. What can I do in those 2 minutes to turn it around so that we both leave either laughing or with a big giant smile on our face? That is being love. That is being God. You want to know what it's like to be God? That's it. That's it. And it's beautiful. And it's to bring beauty into this world. So be that. Be that instrument that brings beauty into this world. Be that instrument of the divine. Be a bubble of love. And nothing can touch you. Nothing. You might suffer for a bit, but it all comes back. It all comes back. Do you know why? Because it's a vibration and it has no choice but to come back. It has to. It's physics. Every action gets an equal and opposite reaction, right? Science 101. It's very true. And it applies to everything. There's not one thing that it doesn't apply to. So remember that. Remember that in the lows. And even more importantly, remember that during the highs. Right? Well, I don't have much more to say beyond this because I was only planning on coming on here for about 30 minutes. And I just wanted to share that with you guys and tell you that I'm okay for all of you who are worried. And I got through the surgery of flying colors, and it's been 2 weeks in bed. And I could tell I really needed those 2 weeks in bed. I've been sleeping a lot. But it is very exhausting to be up on my feet for more than just for a few minutes. So I'm still not quite 100% yet. But on Tuesday, I get all these tubes taken out of me. All this blood bags and all this grossness will be detached. And I'll be back to my old self. And I'll be back here next week to really give you guys another great satsang. Before I go, does anybody have anything that they would like to share or ask a question? Is there anyone out there suffering? Let's talk about it. If you're suffering, let's talk about it. You know, if there's something out there that you want to say, share, please tell me. Please tell me. Awesome. Boy, what a beautiful crowd I got in here tonight. I noticed some of you guys came on here early to say that there was, you guys were very sleepy, you had a hard weekend. I noticed a lot of you guys did that. Please let me know if this is too late for you guys, if 11 o'clock is too late. I set it to 11 because I noticed the majority of my crowd is around my age, and we're the TV generation, so I don't want to interfere with any of your TV shows. But the news, I'll be happy to interfere with. You guys shouldn't be watching the news anyway. This is your new news. I'll start doing the weather if you guys want. Well, thank you guys again very much for showing up. I really love all of you very much, and I don't see any questions going on here, so I'll probably get a sign off here. But please take to heart everything I've said, and just remember that I love you very, very much. And I will be here again next Sunday, and we'll get into some deep, deep stuff. I'll have the whole week to prepare in bed. And I'm excited to share with you guys. Thank you very, very much for showing up once again. And I love you. Take care. Bye-bye.